Good morning, it's Wednesday. It's time for our Pastor's Corner devotional. Before I continue, we just want to take a moment to send our condolences, our prayers, and our thoughts to the communities out in Nova Scotia that have been affected by this tragedy of this mass shooting. Our community of faith, we're praying for you. We just want to send prayers of peace and comfort as you mourn, as you grieve. Prayers for healing as you rebuild your communities after all of this. So our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who tune into this, this is our weekly devotional where we just look at a small passage in the Bible and just offer some thoughts of reflection and encouragement during this uncertain period of time. Today we are in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7, it says, "Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you." Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. During this season that we have right now, there's a lot of fear and worry and anxiety, and we're not quite sure what we're supposed to do with it. This passage of scripture just gives us a glimpse into a possible solution for us. It says, cast all your anxieties on God. Now, one of the things I appreciate about Christianity is the fact that it says that fear, worry, and anxiety, they're not going to disappear once you trust Jesus. In fact, there will continue to be realities that we have to deal with day in and day out. And it's not to even say that if you suffer from anxiety or you are a person who worries a lot, that there's something wrong with you. No, it's not the case. It's just the reality of our life. We will undergo things that challenge us with our fears. It challenges us to worry. It challenges us with anxiety. So there's nothing wrong with you if you go through these things. What we're trying to do is just encourage you that God has given us a solution to how we can handle these situations. And in this passage particularly, he says, give me your anxieties, cast your anxieties on me, because he cares for us. And I was just trying to think through how this works for us, because I know for me personally, there are times where I worry or I have anxieties and I give them to God, but there are also times that I know that I wrestle them right back. In fact, maybe I would question, have I really fully given my anxieties to God at times? And maybe you're in the same boat. Today, as the kids were having lunch, something came up that caused me to think about this image of whether or not I trust God. How does my trust in God look like? And so what happened was my kids were looking through the fridge and one of them noticed, hey, Dad, there's no cheese left in the fridge. So the next time you go to the grocery store, make sure you grab some cheese. And that was that. And I think that that's an illustration of how we can trust God and learn to give our anxieties and worries to God. You see, my kids, they simply believe that I will take care of them. So when they say, hey, there's no cheese, that they fully expect that the next time I go, I'm going to remember what they need and I'm going to provide for their need. There's a full trust there. My kids weren't devising backup plans. They weren't looking into mapping out how to get to the grocery store. They weren't looking at their bank accounts to figure out whether or not they have enough money for cheese. They weren't Googling how to make cheese at home because they trust that next time I go, I'm going to get the cheese for them. Now take this with how you and I interact with God. I think God would love it if we come to him like a child and he as the parent. And if we come to him and say, God, here is my worry, here is my anxiety, here is my fear. And that we leave it with him and we trust him to deal with it. We trust him to give solutions to it. We trust him to take care of it for us. See, we don't need to make up backup plans. We don't have to start thinking of things that we need to do just in case God doesn't come through or have backup ideas as to what to do in case, right? It's just to fully trust that he'll take care of us. So maybe in this season right now, some of us are going through some of these fears and these anxieties. Some of us are worried about our bank accounts because we've been laid off. Some of us are worried if our jobs will still be there when we get back. Some of us are worried about family members who are older or immunocompromised, and we're worried about their health and well-being. Some of us still have to go to work and we're physically worried about getting sick. We have all these different anxieties and worries. And I'm just going to remind you today, take up this challenge that Peter gives us. Cast all your anxieties on God because he cares. And I think that's one simple phrase there, because he cares. He loves us. He wants to take care of us. He's willing to do that. And in fact, the God who created the world is the same God who can really handle our anxieties, fears, and worries. So cast all your anxiety on him because he cares. That's it for this week on Pastor's Corner. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Love and peace.